Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, I'm going to be doing a video that I find to be interesting, but hey, who knows? People might fight me in the comments. That's okay. Today is going to be a video on my unpopular Wizard101 opinions that I have, that I feel like, I mean, I might be wrong and they're not unpopular, but in my opinion, and from what I've seen, they're pretty unpopular. So we're gonna get right into it. I have a few ones that I know definitely will be controversial, a few that you know aren't. So first things first, I'm not gonna go all the way there because it's so far away, but at level 30 you do not need to farm for Zeus gear. I see a lot of people saying Zeus gear is necessary, you need to farm for it, or they feel like they want to farm for it. Zeus gear is not necessary. You don't need it at all. Honestly, you definitely want to do Mount Olympus once, but realistically, if you've done it once, you never have to do it again. The gear isn't necessary until the Winter Tusk craft or the Waterworks gear. If you have Winter Tusk or Waterworks, it's fine. Bazaar gear works up until that level. You don't need it at all. So that's first unpopular opinion, and I know that definitely some people disagree with that. Obviously you want to use the sky and Hasta, but otherwise you don't need anything. Second unpopular opinion, honestly, I'm just gonna group this into multiple. That's the worlds that I think are my favorite. First off, I like Krokotopia. I think Krokotopia is a decent world. I actually think it's a pretty fun world. I really like the vibe and the look of it. Mushu is a fantastic world, my favorite world of all time, even. Zafaria is a really good world. I think Zafaria is really fun. I like the general vibe that it gives off, and not a lot of people do. And finally, I like Azteca. I think Azteca is nowadays actually a lot funner of a world than it used to be. Now, it's still long, but now with the 20% health reduction and the critical update, it's actually much more bearable. So boom, that's definitely 4 unpopular opinions you have in a row there that I know definitely some people would disagree with the world thing. In regards to my favorite worlds, I don't know if this is controversial actually. I'm trying to think what my favorite world is that could be controversial. I mean, I like Avalon. I don't know if people like or dislike Avalon. I also like Polaris. And I like Caramel. So there you go. See if I wait, I already said what worlds do I dislike that people might like? Chrysalis, Imperia. I don't know, people might dislike those. I don't really know. Wizard City. I dislike Wizard City. Mainly because I think it's a bit boring. And, you know, it's obviously nostalgic. And I don't hate doing it, but I don't really like it. I just find myself bored. So, that's that. Let's see. I had something else in my mind, but I don't really remember what. Oh yeah, crafting and so crafting in this game actually isn't all that bad of an experience. A lot of people tend to be like, crafting, why do I have to craft the Dragoon gear? You should have been doing crafting up until that level anyway, but crafting is actually relatively fun. I think it's a decent system added by the game, and I think that obviously, yes, there is going to be gear that you need to craft to get some of the best gear in the game. That's how MMOs work. If you think that the Dragoon gear shouldn't be crafted, you don't know how MMOs work. You've never played an MMO in your life, obviously, because some gear, you get gear by different methods, and crafting is one of those methods in a lot of games. So, I don't know. You have no right to complain, in my opinion. Let's see. I'm trying to, there's a few that I could like genuinely piss off people, and I don't know if I want to avoid those or not. You know what? No, screw it. I think generally the PvP community is kind of toxic. Obviously, not all of them. There's some WizTubers that aren't toxic at all and play PvP. It's a harsh generalization, but I think that one of the main reasons why I stay away from PvP is because a lot of the experiences I've had with it have been toxic experiences, and I genuinely don't like that. Even when I win, it still feels like a toxic experience, and it's not me being toxic, it's the person losing. And if there's one thing I hate in this world, it's sore losers. Like, realistically, they make me want to punch something because I hate sore losers. And I think that being courteous goes a long way, and a lot of people in the PvP community aren't courteous. I think also they demand a lot of changes to the game that unbalance PvE because they want PvP to be more balanced, when realistically King's Isle needs to find a healthy balance between the two, and not everything is going to be balanced. That's how the game works. Storm is going to be significantly stronger than certain schools. Ice is realistically going to be good at PvP because it's defensive. But I'll move on from the PvP before they start screaming at me in the comments, because PvP players like to do that. So yes, I'm calling you out. If you scream at me in the comments, what does that say about you? Just shows that I'm right. Damn. What else is one that might get people to dislike me? I mean, I already mentioned the Dragoon Gear video yesterday. I was genuinely shocked how many people disagreed with me, how many people thought it was balanced. I don't think it's balanced at all. A lot of people were saying that all schools should be able to do massive amounts of damage, but I just don't think that's true. I don't think Ice, Life, and Balance should be able to do massive amounts of damage, because that's not what they're designed to do. That's stupid, generally. That's like saying, right, say you have an armory of weapons, right? You have a sword, you have a spear, you have a shield. That's like going up to it and expecting the shield to do the same amount of damage to the enemy as the sword does, which is just not correct, since the sword has a blade on it that can slice people, and the shield is made to defend against said blade. I don't know. That's just my point. I just don't think that the school balance right now is good. I think Ice has way too much damage, Life has way too much damage, and I think, honestly, everything needs to be shifted back. I think that certain schools can get too much resist right now. I don't think Death should be able to get as much resist as it does. I think Death should have 40 resist, probably at most 40, 50, give or take. I've seen, you know, some Deaths being extremely tanky. I don't know. I don't think that's what Death should be. I think Death should be heal back with less resist, right? But that's beside the point. You know, there's that. And you know what? I'm gonna end it off with something interesting. I think Myth is one of the best schools in this game. I think that it's heavily, or at least in the past, it was heavily hated and heavily looked down upon, and nowadays it's one of the best schools in the game. I think that a lot of people underestimate it and think that it's bad. I think in PvP it's actually a lot better, but in PvE people still think of it as a bad school, and I think it's a really good school. So, you know what? I'm going to end it there. That seems good. 9 minutes of me spewing opinions that I think are generally unpopular. There is definitely some unpopular opinions in there. So you know what? Now is the time. Go down in the comments below and tell me which one you disagree with, because you're going to disagree with one. I know you are. If you're a PvP player, feel free to say, I disagree that the PvP community is toxic. But if you're toxic, that's just, if you're toxic in the comments saying that you're bad, bro. You're a WizTuber, like, roasting PvP. What's wrong with you? You're just proving my point, right? So there we go. Checkmate, PvPers. I'm just kidding. All right. I'd like to say, take this with a grain of salt. I don't think you're all bad people. In fact, I think a vast majority of you aren't bad people. I just think the PvP community has some problems with toxicity that they need to get over. And I think that every PvP community has that, because every PvP community is designed to be competitive, and when people get competitive, they become sore losers or they become toxic winners. And I think that that's incredibly not cool. So that's it. Like, subscribe, whatever. Dislike, unsubscribe if you want as well, considering, hey, maybe I roasted you too hard, or one of my unpopular opinions just rubbed you the wrong way. All right, feel free. See you in the next video. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.